Hey you, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Today is finding the balance. And balance is something that seems to become more and more difficult as we age, but it's very important for many, many reasons. One of the reasons it's important is it can help us to avoid injuries. Another reason it's important is because balance actually works a part of our brain that we want to fire. We want to fire all parts of our brain, and balance can help us to do that. So we're going to work on some very simple balance exercises that can make a whole lot of difference going forward. Now, a couple of things that can affect your balance, and this is so important to understand. Lack of sleep, allergies, sodium intake, depression. There are many different things that can actually affect my balance because, our mind and our body are totally connected. But we really, really want to try as hard as we can to work on equally from the right side to the left side. Children are pretty good at this. And then as we go through life, we become more right dominant or more left dominant. That sets us up for injuries. So we want to really be paying attention to this. So we're going to start with going down to the floor. Now, a lot of people are very intimidated by getting up and down from the floor. You want to never lose that skill. You want to be able to get yourself down to the floor. You might have some little kids you want to play with. You might want to pick up something, but you also want to be able to get yourself up off of the floor. So we're going to work on that just a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do to work our balance exercises is talk about an easy way to go down to the floor. Okay, so an easy way to go down to the floor is a yoga position that basically goes through sun salutation into down dog. But what we're going to do is we're going to stretch up super tall. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to take our hands down to the mat. We're going to slowly walk our hands out in front of us. And when we feel comfortable, we're bearing weight on those wrists, we're going to drop our knees down to the ground. Okay, we'll get up in a very similar fashion. We're going to start down here, and we're going to start with a balance position. And I need my spine neutral. So you want to make sure your spine is neutral. And you want to make sure you're pushing into the palms of your hands. And you want to make sure your arms are not over rotated. Some people over rotate, pull those back, push into the palms of your hands. We're going to start out, abdominals pulled back, taking one leg back to hip level. Think about making a line from the top of your head to your toe. So I don't want my head up like this. I want it in line with the back of my foot. I'm going to bring my foot down, opening my knees. I'm going to push back. And when I come back up, I'm going to go to the other side. I may need to reposition a little bit here. Think about your back being an ironing board from the head to the tip of your toe. Stretch, stretch. Balancing on the right or left knee, whichever one's down to the ground. Then put your foot down and your knee down and stretch back. And coming up, now we're going to add a little bit right here. So now I'm going to take my leg back and I'm going to take the opposite hand and I may just lift it. I may feel confident enough to stretch it forward. Stay, stay, stay. And down and press back, stretching out that back. And back up. Other leg. Maybe you just reach that opposite hand off the ground just a little, or maybe you stretch it forward. Tummy pulled back, supporting the spine, and down, and push back. And back up. And relax. Now, we're going to go one more on here. Now, if at any time you feel uncomfortable with what we're doing, just go with the leg back and leave the hands down and balance on one leg using your core. But this time we're going to take one leg back, one arm forward. We're going to touch our elbow to our knee. We're going to stretch back long, put it down, and push back. Back up. Leg goes back. This is your choice. You can pick that hand up a little or a lot. Reaching forward, elbow to knee, balancing with the core. Stretch, hand down, push back, and relax. Good job, guys. So you can find your way on everything we do. You don't have to do it just like I do. Do it your way. Just do it, okay? So now we're gonna work on a balancing exercise, another one seated on the floor. So working on balances on the floor isn't quite as intimidating as when we're standing up because we don't have as far to fall. Not that I want you to fall, but if that happens, not going very far. So we're gonna start out, and I'm gonna turn sideways for this. We're gonna lift up super tall, flat back. I'm gonna drop back, and I'm gonna pick up one leg and balance. I'm gonna lift up, and I'm gonna relax forward. Coming back up, I'm gonna bend my knees, stretch my back super tall, arms come up. I'm gonna lift up one leg, balancing, lifting up, and relaxing forward. All right, now I'm gonna do a modified balance here, okay? So what this looks like is, you got a couple of choices. You can take your hands underneath your legs like this and balance with your core, okay? Or you might just take one leg and then the other leg. Or you can reach over, grab your feet, lift them up, and balance. And release. Or you might be able to take your legs to the front and balance. Any of it's gonna work. So choose which one you wanna do. Ready? So I'm gonna do the first one, all right? So I'm gonna come underneath my legs and balance, and 1, 2, 3. And release, and relax forward, and relax. So you could stop the video and go through that a couple of times if you want to, and you find where you're comfortable. There should be something for everyone. Now we're gonna stand up, and I'm gonna show you an easy way to do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back onto my hands and knees, and I'm outside. It's beautiful, but there's a bug on my mat. I'm gonna move that. Lifting up, I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see this. I'm gonna activate my feet first. So I'm gonna pull those toes up, pushing against the floor. I'm gonna lift my tailbone into a down dog position. And I'm gonna slowly bend my knees and walk my hands up to my feet. And I'm gonna slowly roll myself up to standing. Now, you may have a different version of that, and that's fine. But you don't want to lose the skill of getting on and off the ground. Okay, so whatever you need to do, it totally works. Okay, so now we're going to start some standing balances, and we're going to start in mountain pose. All right, so mountain pose, I've got my feet together, or as close as you can get your feet and still feel like you're on balance. My feet are rooted to the ground. I'm going to open my chest. I'm going to take my arms down, and I'm going to lift, and I'm going to stand here. And relax. In mountain pose, you want to breathe. Don't hold your breath. It won't help anything, okay? I'm going to do this again, and this time I'm going to go here. I'm going to lift my chin, and I'm going to lift my heels ever so slightly. And I'm going to come down, and I'm going to relax again. So I'm balancing on 2 feet. Now, if you're struggling with this, and this is not happening for me, I always have a chair handy. Grab it, or go to your kitchen sink or the counter, and from here I can push down, lift up, and when I feel comfortable, I can kind of lift my fingertips, leave them there, and back down. So I'm also working my feet. So that's an added bonus because hard to get good foot work. We are going to do a foot yoga video soon, so that'll help a little bit. But that is called mountain pose. Now, once again, when we're working on balance, we've got to have a couple things going on, and one of the main ones is strength. In our hip video, we talked about doing air squats. Air squats are just kind of what they sound like. I'm going to take my legs hip distance apart. I'm going to let my seat drop back as I squat down, hands go together. Weight is in the quadriceps, and come back up. And again, and back up, and down, and back up. Air squats are great for building strength. We're doing 3 because of time, but I would love for you to do sets of 10 or 12. And remember, if that's a struggle for you, use a chair, okay? And I can sit down in my chair, and I can stand up, and I can sit back down, and I can stand up, okay? Squats are so important for us for balance because we do sit down, all right? We get in the tub. We use this position every single day. So we want to make sure that we're strong and we feel confident as we bend to sit down and we feel like we're on balance. Okay, so this is one of my favorite positions. This is a little bit of a mix of a lot of things, which that's kind of who I am. I mix up Tai Chi and Pilates and yoga and dance, everything that's worked for me. What you're going to do is, this is a weight shifting exercise. You're going to put the hands together in Namaste. You're going to lift one heel. You're going to take your foot forward and you can slide it along the ground, or you can lift it in the air. And you're going to simply shift your weight onto it. And I'm going to lift my back foot, but you don't have to. Shift back. Put that foot down. Hands over the head. I'm going to pick up my heel, go to the side, shift. Now I don't have to pick up my foot, but I can if I want to. Shift. I'm going to put that foot down, and hands are down. Pick up that heel. Slide it or take it through the air to the back, and shift. And back, and shift. And down, open the chest, and I'm going to take a mountain pose right here, and down. Good. Other foot, up, along the floor, in the air, shift, and back, and shift. Put that foot down, hands over the heart, make it a little bit harder. If this is too hard, you can keep them at your shoulders or back to Namaste. This ups the work a little bit. Lifting, slide, or in the air, and shift. And shift. And shift. And down. And stand. And every time I stand, I make sure I'm truly standing on both feet. I can lift my heels and my toes. And to the back, lift, and to the back, shift, and shift, and back down, arms down, and lift up. And I didn't like that lift, so I'm going to try again. And that's what it's all about, lifting and down. Very good, guys. The final thing we're going to do today is tree pose. So tree pose is a yoga position, and lots of times you see people doing really fancy tree poses. You don't have to. Tree pose just means I'm going to shift onto one leg. I'm going to root that leg to the earth. I can start right here. Put these hands into Namaste, and this is totally good enough. I can also hold on to my chair right here if I need to. Or I can take the leg up, or up higher, or up as high as I can stand it, and I'm going to stay. Put that leg down, and we're going to go to the other side. So remember, just shifting the weight to here, totally good enough. If you want to go more, you pick up, and maybe even go a little higher, Opening that hip and stay. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope that this balance was helpful for you. One thing that I think really interesting, and I've taught classes for over 30 years, and I've taught to everyone from 3-year-olds to people in their 90s, is our equipment. When I'm talking about equipment, particularly for exercise, one of the most important things is your shoes. Now, if you're taking yoga or you're doing Tai Chi or you're doing something that's barefoot, obviously your shoes don't factor in. But a lot of us, myself included, walking is a part of my exercise of my daily routine. One of the things you have to pay real close attention to is your shoes. Now, I was famous for if I had a pair of shoes that I liked, I held on to them to the bitter end. You really need to think about changing your shoes at least twice a year, getting a new pair. And if you're doing a lot of miles in your walk per day or per week, probably every 3 months. Once your shoes pack out, then the way your foot is hitting the ground can be a problem. The way my foot hits the ground, and I do have custom insoles, which I always have on, that can protect how the foot hits the ground, which protects my back. It protects my legs. It protects my spine. It protects a lot of different things. So you do want to pay attention, and there's lots of good sales. There's lots of good places to find shoes marked down. Just get a pair from last year. They're still going to have really good properties for you, but don't stay in the same shoes for too long because they can actually do more harm than good.